Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.
This time on Broad and High, a Columbus man who struggled with homelessness now finds self-worth through his drawings.
I need to do the art because, it gets my mind off of me feeling my low.
A local fiber phenom shares her love of crochet. And celebrate National Handwriting Day with a Columbus artist who loves lettering. This and more right now on Broad and High. Hi everyone, I'm Kate Quickle and welcome to Broad and High. For our first story tonight, we'd like to introduce you to a Columbus man known as Malcolm J. His journey as a self-taught artist began in elementary school when a teacher singled him out for his creative talents. But as he grew into adulthood, the Cleveland native struggled with mental health issues and substance abuse problems. When he arrived in Columbus in 2005, he was homeless, but ready to make some changes in his life. With the encouragement of mentors who recognized his talent as an illustrator, Malcolm J picked up his pencil once more. Here's his story.
Art is very therapeutic to me. Some people say, you don't know where you'd be without it, but I'd probably be dead or in jail. It's redeemed my spirit in life. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, on the east side. And in grade school, 5th or 6th grade, my teacher told us to do a drawing of our imagination. And he was blown away by my drawing, and I became teacher's pet, and I needed special attention. I needed somebody to tell me I was, worth something, and I have something of worth. I kept that picture for a while, but somehow we had a house fire and lost it. I'm a little bit slow, but the teacher at the elementary, they told my parents in my presence that I was semi-retarded, and that hurt me academically along the way in life. But today, I still I'm slow, a little bit slow, but that's okay. I mean, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor in this. Well, I had some issues being homeless, and I suffer from chemical dependency, so I need a change. And I still had a suitcase that I came here from Cleveland. I arrived at a homeless shelter, Faith Mission. While being homeless, I had a lot of time on my side, and I heard about Short North being our district. So I just started experimenting doing buildings for the first time. The first building I done was the CAP area. It sold within 15 or 20 minutes. So I started doing more and more, and mostly a Short North. I sketch every day. I'm always doodling on something, I deal with a lot of depression. And I need to do these art because, it gets my mind off of me feeling my low, I tune out a lot of negative thoughts. I have to go outside and see how the trees is. Well, I'm drawing, what they say, the other face of the library. It's pretty old now, and they're gonna do some redevelopment, reconstruction of it. So it's going to be all new. So I want for them to have, memory of it. And I'm gonna donate it to them, the library here. I mostly enjoy the pencil work because I do a lot of old buildings, and it's kind of like adding nostalgic look to the old school, old days, you know. I use no rulers. I'm all free-handed. This is all authentic Malcolm J's work here. All right. This is a natural gift, which I didn't know I had it in the building drawings. I didn't know it would be all natural with me. A lot of it is a story that I went through experience, you know. Being sought out by, people in business now is a real triumphant, you know what I'm saying? And it's built my self-esteem now, you know. Check it out, you know, I'm worthy.
Since we originally brought you this story, Malcolm lost his right eye, which has limited his ability to draw. But he recently received some adaptive eyewear that will allow him to resume his art practice. If you're interested in learning more about Malcolm's story, check out the Kevin Malcolm Jones Support Group page on Facebook. Next up, Toni Lipsey. This local fiber phenom learned to crochet when she was 13 and was immediately hooked. She tells us why she wishes she could teach the world to crochet.
I have to make sure I keep my count. Like whenever I'm crocheting, I count like every row. I think playful and practical really help to define kind of the things that I like to make, and especially the things that I like to share with others. If I could, I would love to teach everyone how to do this. I am the owner of TL Yarn Crafts. It's a crochet, home goods, and accessories business. I run primarily on Etsy, but I do a lot of craft shows around the holidays. I learned crochet when I was 13 years old. I was bored to tears over summer break, and I was driving my mother insane. And she was looking for something to kind of keep me busy, keep me occupied. And she grabbed a crochet hook and some yarn out of her stash, and she taught me how to make a granny square. And she told me, keep going, and it'll turn into a blanket. And I worked on that thing all summer. But I just remember at the time, just watching my hands make something that didn't exist before. It was kind of fascinating for such a young person, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm making an Albert. So he is going to ultimately be an owl, about ornament size. So perfect for like a Christmas tree or hanging up in your car, or, there's always one owl lover in the family who can find something to do with an owl ornament. Is by far one of my favorite things to make. This is a wool blend. So if something happens to Albert, he falls in a puddle or baby gets applesauce on him, he can be popped in the washing machine. Really easy to take care of. I want people, especially for the first time, to experience crochet in a very simple and straightforward way. So if I can make it approachable, I try my best to do that. I keep a project bag with me everywhere I go, and I mean, if I'm at the doctor's office, if I'm waiting in the drive-thru too long, I'm pulling out one of my crochet projects. You know, wish I could just teach the world to love crochet. I wish I could, yeah. I mean, once you get your hands into it and you really experience, you know, it's just fascinating. It's very exciting. You know, it's not just your grandma or your aunt who made that kind of itchy sweater. Like, it's something that is, you know, that is contemporary and modern and that you can infuse into your own style. I will crochet all day, every day for the rest of my life. You know, I want to kind of redefine how people see, you know, crochet in their lives.
Toni is all over the internet with featured patterns, blog posts, and even podcasts. You can find her in all the usual places under the handle TL Yarn Crafts. Today, January 23rd, is the birthday of the man whose flourishing signature was the first to be added to the Declaration of Independence, the one and only John Hancock. So in celebration, we bring you this story about a Columbus artist who loves hand lettering.
When I started the class, I said, what do you hope to get out of this class, and why did you want to take it? And some, it was because they had the memory of the beautiful handwriting of their parents or their grandparents, and they wanted to know how you got there and how, you know, how was that done? Some had a little bit of that, but, you know, it's so far back. And then others, really just they're curious about calligraphy, they like to write, and they like what's happening now with the decorative forms, and they want to be able to do it, and they want to be able to use the tools, they want to apply it to their lives. You know, when I began, I started doing it because I wanted to do it, and then I suddenly discovered people wanted my work. Nothing makes you feel more needed, more loved, more anything than something you created made people happy. And obviously people are made happy by beautiful handwriting. I had spent a year as a student in Italy studying ancient and medieval history. And I was looking at manuscripts in all the libraries and looking at this stuff. I have the images in my head, but I didn't know what I was looking at. So when it fell into place, when I started learning about it, that's what happened. So I have since, when I teach handwriting, I start with the basic italic forms. When we learn cursive today, the tradition is you learn manuscript, which is straight up and down. It's like ball and stick. And then at second grade or third grade, they tell the students, oh, just forget all that you learned. We taught you that for 2 years, just forget that. And now we want you to do this angled thing that's joined all the way through. We find that after 2 years, even 1 year of being away from the constant training of the cursive, they go back to the printing, because that's what they learned first, and because that seems to be more efficient. I abandoned cursive and went back to printing in college because I couldn't write that fast enough. It broke down, I couldn't read my notes. So I went back to printing with a slight slant, and then when I discovered calligraphy, I said, oh, now I can turn my print into a handwriting. So that's what I did here. They learn the basic italic, they're learning the basic script, and then see how you can mine them both for something you want to create for yourself. Good handwriting is based on those consistencies and you know, the logic of keeping an alphabet consistent. We were given a brain to sort things out and make logic out of it. So when you learn an alphabet, and this is one of the first things I was taught, is there's an inner logic to these alphabets that connects all the forms within it. That's why it creates the patterns it does, the beauty of it. And so that's what you need to know. Why doesn't my handwriting look like that? Well, because you haven't learned the inner patterns of it, the inner consistencies of it. Because what you're trying to do is say, where do you begin this stroke and how do you make it consistent? So if you know within thirds, say, of a space, where you're supposed to begin that stroke, then it will be consistently the same. It will have the same appearance. I'm teaching their eyes to see the relationships, and that's a pattern, right? It's a rhythm. It's beat, da, da, beat, you see? And so it has music in it too, and of course that's another part of our human, baggage, is that it's the beauty of rhythm and music and dance that actually inform it, calligraphy, and make it something just endlessly interesting.
Our next story actually takes us up to Detroit with a visit to the harp and vocal program at Cass Technical High School. This famed public school ensemble has been around for more than 90 years.
The words that come to mind when I hear the word harp are beautiful, difficult, and underappreciated.
It's something that becomes a passion that you just don't want to release. I began playing the harp in my 9th grade year at Cass Technical High School. It's beautiful to look at. I think it was probably more the aesthetic of the instrument than anything else. So I said, I'll try this. Cass has the oldest established harp program in a public school, which began in 1925.
We've been around for over 90 years, first starting with Velma Froud, Patricia Terry Ross, and now currently Miss Lydia Kleber.
Wanting to come back was the fulfillment of my desire to continue to be a part of the program and to see it go on after Patricia Terry Ross retired. And it was a great opportunity to be able to work with older students and do more sophisticated things musically and just come home, really. Put your thumb on.
Harp ensemble is the class where everybody plays the harp, and then harp and vocal it's a combination of harp and choir at the same time.
I came into this class and I thought it was really hard, like really, really hard, because I've never been in a music class. I didn't know how to read notes, but it got better after a while.
In Detroit, unfortunately, we have suffered significantly in the fine arts area in our school system. And so when students arrive in my classroom, for the most part, they don't know anything about music. So we start from the very beginning.
Stretch. Yep. Stretch and slide down a little bit.
It's a practical skill. They learn to solve problems in real time. They learn to work collaboratively in addition to being able to apply principles of math. They make connections to literature through song.
They say that the harp is the hardest instrument in the world. So I feel like you can learn a lot of things from the harp that you can use in life, even if you're not going to pursue music in college or in the future.
I think it prepares me for everyday life in the way of not giving up on things, because it's really easy to give up on an instrument like the harp because it's hard. It's teaching me to accept challenges and use it as an exercise to better myself as a person.
Look, because that time we didn't have any problem with what chord to play.
When I see that students can learn how to figure something out, that is super exciting for me, because They have learned patience, how to break something down into parts that you can then put together again and create a whole, and then actually give life to it, to create an emotional aspect of it, and then share it with other people.
I've never sang with a harp before harp and vocal, which is very interesting. Watching the harpist play as we sing, it's another form of expression. When we crescendo, they crescendo, and they crescendo, and it's very expressive, and it's very essential in conveying the message and sharing the music with the audience.
I find music that is in our library typically that has worthiness, that they can't dig some meaning out of.
Today we're working on 2 songs, one called Steal Away and then one called Going Home, which they're both essentially about having peace with yourself and being ready to go to heaven.
It's a tribute to one of the many songs that slaves used to sing.
3 and 4. Same freedom for everybody. And I'm just going home.
As a Black singer, it's really important to know like the history of the songs. It really helps to convey the message to the audience, to have people relate to it.
It means to me that we're doing something good. We're giving people something that maybe they didn't know they needed.
I've heard Miss Cleaver play the harp, and it's inspired me to keep going with what I want to do, and because she's so passionate about it, and her passion has driven her to be great, that it inspires me to be great in what I want to do.
It's incredible. Like, I always I play it and then I'm like, it's nothing compared to her. Like, she can play it right at that instinct, and it's beautiful.
It's actually very angelic to hear the sound of the harp, especially the way she plays it with such passion. It only encourages us to sing the same way with a lot of passion.
Much better. So now,
I'm extremely proud of my students. I am extremely fortunate to work with young people who get what it means to be responsible and to grow. And they do it through music.
After I leave high school, I might go to college to play the harp. And I want to find a way to incorporate harp into mainstream music, because you don't really see too many harpists in mainstream. So I want to figure out a way to maybe make a new genre of music or something like that. The experiences that I've had here at Cass Tech have made me grateful for the things that I have, especially with the harp program.
We know that we'll have connections with people forever, people that we know if we need something, we can call them up in 20 years from now, and we'll know that we'll have support.
The great thing about it is that everyone who's come through the program has seen the benefits of it and the beauty of it. They can see, wow, this was really an important part of my life. And so we have that support. And it is one of the jewels of the district. It's something that is unique. And it belongs to Detroit Public Schools Community District.
We want to thank our friends at Detroit Public Television for that story. Meanwhile, you can find all of our stories at WOSU.org and on our free WOSU Public Media mobile app. And be sure to give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where our handle is Broad and High. For all of us here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here next week.
Then life got hard, so you let go of the wheel. someone new. Oh, to God, the just were meant to do.
Mark Lomax II, drummer and composer. I tell stories with my music. I'm inspired by the experience of Africans in America and the diaspora. I'm inspired by my family. I love that music is a truly universal language. My process relies on my connection with the universe, and sometimes the ancestors even sing to me. To be truly avant-garde, you must be brave enough to be yourself. And I really dig westerns and old radio stories. Columbus is a safe place to take risks because you can just be yourself. I'm Mark Lomax II. Music is my art, and there's no place I'd rather make it.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
PNC, committed to Central Ohio, for the achiever in you. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.